Congressman, thanks for being here. You know, I thought we'd heard the end of Robert Mueller, and now all of a sudden Nadler and Schiff are calling him back, and suddenly he's going to testify in mid-July. I think it may even be July 11th. What's your take on that?
Well, he's like a bad penny. He just won't go away. He wants to continue this job, you know. And I don't know which way he's going to go, Judge. I think there's two trains of thought out there. One is that he's just not going to say anything, which is very possible. But it's also very possible, too, that he could throw a monkey wrench in things. Now, what's odd about this is supposedly he's only agreed to testify for 4 hours. Well, 4 hours with the House Intelligence Committee and the House Judiciary Committee is not enough time to get everyone's questions in.
Right.
In addition, people should know he's also not willing to testify as of now behind closed doors, and he's supposedly going to send in Andrew Weissman and his team of geniuses that came up with these conspiracy theories. So, and then that's not going to be even translated. So stay tuned. We don't know the rules of the road yet, but we'll find out.
I want you to listen to this sound from Adam Schiff, chairman of House Intel.
There's no limitation on confining his testimony to the four corners of the report. That may be his desire, but Congress has questions that go beyond the report, and we have seen with the Attorney General he is more than willing to make statements that go well beyond anything in the Mueller report.
My take on that, Congressman, is be careful what you wish for. Because if Schiff and the Democrats want him to go beyond the report and say something, even if it's contrary to the report, it really doesn't matter because the report is the best evidence. It speaks for itself. But that allows you Republicans to get into when, where, how, why.
Well, I don't want lightning to strike the studio there in New York, Judge, but I actually agree with Schiff. If Mueller comes in to testify, he has to answer every question that members of Congress have for him. And he should, if he thinks it's classified, if he's going to somehow get into some classified information, then he needs to go down into a secure area so that we can ask him the questions there on the record.
Okay. All right. But you know what? I mean, there are questions that can be asked about, when the counterintelligence investigation began and why he looked at this and what do you think of FISA and who had done, well, whatever. But I want to get to some sound.
Oh, absolutely, Judge. That is totally right. I mean, the FBI has stated for a long time that this investigation started on at the end of July of 2016. That is a total lie.
Absolutely.
They've been lying to Congress. They've been misleading the American people. And I'm going to ask that question, or at least me or somebody on my committee is going to ask that question of Bob Mueller when the investigation actually began spying on the Trump campaign.
Okay, I want you to listen to some sound that we have of the president that just came out a few minutes ago about a meeting with Kim Jong-un.
Again, I'm going to the DMZ, and I understand that they want to meet, and I'd love to say hello. It's going to be very short, but we are in territory that's very close. We don't have to take long trips to countries, so it's good for both of us. Let's see what happens.
Amazing. The president started with a tweet saying he'd like to say hello and shake hands over the DMZ between North and South Korea, and now it appears that there is some response and that both countries are working on it.
Yeah, look, the president has been very willing to meet with Kim Jong-un. This had not been done for decades. So this is more the president's strategy of trying to open dialogue to try to see if something can be worked out. Now, many of us are very skeptical that something can be worked out. But look, we're a heck of a lot better trying to work something out versus this lunatic getting a nuclear weapon and then doing something really stupid with it, like selling it, or at worst case, sending one into Seoul or somewhere else. So the president's doing what he always does, which is, trying to have dialogue, trying to make a deal.
Well, what's interesting is when I recall that when Obama was leaving office, he said the biggest problem that the incoming President Trump would deal with is North Korea and Kim Jong-un. And the fact that there have been discussions, conversations, and possibly maybe a meeting. I mean, this certainly is better than saber rattling. They're going to talk, and that's all good. It's more than anyone could expect. And for the left to be critical just blows my mind. Final thoughts. We've got about 15 seconds.
So far, Judge, there has not been any missiles that have been shot over Japan. And I think that would be the deal breaker if he starts to test long-range missiles again. That would probably take President Trump away from the table. But for now, things are moving. At least they're neutral. They're not going backwards.
Absolutely.